Hey, it's Kyle from the 700 ReEntry Center. We are back with the ReEntry podcast at reentrypodcast.com. Today, I've got a very special guest. If you've been to the 700 ReEntry Center, you may recognize her. But this is the first time I think she's ever done a podcast. So don't be nervous, and welcome, Jeannette.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you for having me as a guest.
Okay, so Jeannette is my executive assistant and the mother of 700 ReEntry and a vital part of this entire operation. Like, she makes you make it go.
I try my best.
But you haven't like done ReEntry your whole entire life. Something brought you here. What's your experience with you haven't been to prison, have you?
No, I haven't been to prison.
So there's 12 people that work here that have been to prison and 3 allies, and you're one of them.
Yes.
But you've been affected by prison.
My son went to prison.
For how long?
For 10 years.
That's quite some time.
Yes.
And he's home now?
He's been home for the last 6-7 years.
What's he do now?
He's a truck driver. He got his own company.
So is it him being in prison that drove you to wanting to help out with this?
Well, while he was in prison, I met my husband. My husband was his friend, and we were friends first for 10 years, and now we have a relationship for 7 years.
And that's my business partner, one of my 2 business partners with 700 ReEntry, Eddie, who's also one of our legal writers for Federal Prison Tips. We all work together here. But, I mean, you got such a knack for caring for people and helping people. Tell me about that. Like, where did you come from?
It feels good to help. It feels good to help, and all these inmates, when they come back home, not everybody give them a welcome or good welcoming back to the society and home. So we just here to help. Whatever comes.
And personally, now you've been through this twice. Once with your son, and now once with Eddie also.
Yes.
You're either a glutton for punishment or a very compassionate woman.
Well, let me tell you, this was my first experience with my son first, and then through my son, I met Eddie. Okay. So my son came home, but Eddie stood behind.
So your son's home from prison, and you're still talking to Eddie on the phone?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
For 5 years.
Oh, my goodness. And then Eddie came home on home confinement.
Absolutely.
Was that a pain?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I left everything behind in New York. I moved to Miami to be with Eddie when he came home for home confinement. So we both were in home confinement.
And then, let me tell you something. I believe I met you the day that Eddie got off the ankle monitor.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because Eddie Disla gets off the ankle monitor, and the first thing he does is comes to meet the Federal Prison Tips guy when we were across the street.
Yes, yes.
And then he calls his wife. It's like, hey, I just met the Federal Prison Tips guy, and then you came.
Yes.
And now it's like we're all inseparable. You were even here on a Sunday to try and help me out.
We are a family here in 700 ReEntry.
So what are some of the things that you do here?
Okay, so I'm Kyle's executive assistant.
And the gatekeeper. That means, listen, somebody came to me today and they're like, yes, I don't know why you have to have somebody come and talk to me, but you're the gatekeeper. Like nobody but him, and I'm pointing to the person that's helping us with the podcast, can go into my office without Jeannette's permission.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I got to come through me because Kyle is a very busy person and he works too much and too long hours. So I got to avoid people distracting him or getting on his nerve with some nonsense stuff. So that's what I'm here for.
So let's talk about something awesome. We've had three? Have we had 3 events here or 2?
We had two officially.
We had two major events here: the grand opening back in July, and then the mocktail event last month. And people that come here, we had probably 200 at the mocktails and about 100 at the grand opening. They rave about the food that we serve here.
Yes, I'm a professional chef, and here when we have any event at 700 ReEntry, we don't hire nobody.
We don't hire nobody.
Myself.
But listen, I'm telling you, because we've got Halloween coming up, Thanksgiving coming up, and Christmas coming up. If you're just as impacted, I'm telling you, the place to go for food is here, because when we have an event, we don't charge for it.
Absolutely.
And people rave about people come to our events and they're like,
and then they hire
you
for personal events.
And I mean, I'm telling you, we had this Italian night for the grand opening. It was phenomenal. And then we had empanadas and all kinds of stuff at the mocktail party, and that was phenomenal. And of course, we're going to have turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and all the fixins. And listen, if you're in the ReEntry community in South Florida, one of the halfway houses are on home confinement. Depending on which halfway house you're assigned to, we're having 3 different Thanksgivings. On Monday the 24th, we have Banyan House coming from 12 to 2. We have Dismas coming from 4 to 6. And then if you're at Riverside, you're coming on the 25th, which is Tuesday from 12 to 2. So we're going to feed you, and you don't want to miss it.
Absolutely not.
Because it's like the best food that there is out there. But, I mean, I'm highly, if you knew me prior to Federal Prison Tips, prior to 700, I'm an extremely hard worker, but a mess and disorganized. And, like, keeping me organized is a full-time job.
Yes, he's a little bit disorganized, but I'm here to help him out.
But also, you know, you are very active in helping with our community events.
Yes. Like I said before, all these ReEntry people need the help, and sometimes people see it on the wrong way because they have a past, but we are here to help, and we got to be compassionate. We got to have some love and kindness for people. We can't be judging nobody, and we ain't nobody's. We all the same.
So, I mean, you know, the first guest we had for this ReEntry podcast, I didn't want to call it 700 because it's just reentrypodcast.com, was Kanisha with Raw Juice. And then we had Cloyd from Man Up Ministries. And Jeannette is one of actually the founders of 700 and my executive assistant. But what do we do here?
Well, we help people get back in track in the community. We help them with some skills. We help them with credit. We help them with business development. We dress them up for their jobs interview. We feed them if we have to feed them. We have a pantry, and we help them if they need some food in their home too. They come and get their bags and take it home with them. We got all kind of help. We entertain them. We have a pool table. We have a game room. They come over here and spend the day.
So let's talk about the clothes, because there's this thing here at 700 ReEntry that I just named Kyle's Closet because we needed a name that day. And the idea behind it is if somebody, you know, we're in South Florida. We live in a bougie part of the United States. So there's a lot of people that have great, gently used clothing and shoes, belts, ties, everything. And it's just gently used, and it's someone's name brand and designer stuff. Perfect for job interviews. And that's the idea behind the clothes, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And it's modeled after a nonprofit startup in Miami, but it's called Kyle's Closet here. So if you are a reentrant, and that's the word I prefer to use, it's reentrant. We've been toying with it. It's hard when we're talking about what we do. And a lot of times when you're in the reentry community, the first go-to name for these individuals is inmate. And I want to get away from that. So we've been using the word reentrant. So you have a reentrant, and they need to go on a job interview. Most reentrants come out of federal prison or even state prison with a gray Russell sweatsuit, if that, typically with holes in the knees, like I did. And then how are you supposed to go on a job interview if you don't have a parent or a loved one that's, sending you shit from Amazon? So somebody gets out of prison, has a job interview set up, they can call 700 ReEntry and come down here and get your size and go in the closet, take what you need. You don't have to pay for it. And you can get enough clothes for your first week at work or whatever it is, right?
Yes, they come the first time. They get an outfit for the first job interview. If they get hired, they allow to come back and get 5 more outfits for they could have what to wear in their first week of job before they get a paycheck.
Yeah. Also, the other thing is we just recently got a donation of 200 pairs of non-slip shoes. And for somebody that's a chef, you know how important those are.
Yes, safety, safety, safety.
So I remember when I first got to the halfway house before I got revoked, I started working at this chicken strip restaurant called Huey Magoo's. I was the front of house manager, and I needed non-slip shoes, and they were like $100.
Yes.
And we have 200 pairs back there.
Yes, we were lucky, and some other nonprofit organization donated us over 200 pair of sneakers.
But it's not just. I want to make sure you know, if you are getting a job at McDonald's, any kind of kitchen, washing dishes or whatever, you have to have non-slip shoes. These are non-slip shoes, and they are free if you're a reentrant coming out of prison, state or federal. And then, we talk about the food. I'm not just talking about the food that you prepare for us when we have events. We have the New Beginnings Food Bank is housed here. They operate out of here 7 days a week, and through our partnership with them and with the nice people at Publix, we get a crap ton of food for people. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. When you're first starting back out, if you've been in prison for a while, you have no family looking out for you or anything like that, you can get out of the halfway house and have absolutely nothing, or even go to the halfway house and find that you're barely making ends meet. Here, if you need a loaf of bread, we have it here.
Yes.
And loaf of bread, snacks, soda, whatever. We have a whole gigantic kitchen full at 700 ReEntry. So, because the thing that I'm passionate about, Jeannette, is that there's 2 things that reentrants are challenged with that go hand in hand. Either one of them leads to homelessness, and it's housing and jobs. And 700 does the jobs, the business development, everything, anything to help somebody not become homeless. As long as your goal is like our goal, it's to stay out of prison.
Absolutely.
So in the past, we've been doing this now for about 5 months. What's been one of the most exciting things so far?
Well, when these reentry persons come in here, you can see their smile. Like, we're going to resolve their problems. Like, they feel safe in here. So it's a good sensation to see that we could do something for them and help them out with their needs.
And, we were talking, you spoke briefly about the video game room and about just hanging out here. And, some people in the community have resorted to calling it Kyle's Clubhouse. But there's some truth to that that's got a foundation in what reentry is all about. When we're in prison, like Eddie and your son and me, we are moving about our day with 100+ people everywhere we go. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, bedtime. Hundreds of people around all the time. Then you get home, like with Eddie. He came home from Coleman, which was a full prison, the biggest prison in the country, and it's just you.
Yeah.
So even though you're there to love him and support him, it's lonely. So here at 700 ReEntry, you have a approved place to go to, because probation loves us, and you can you can congregate with other felons, not for the purpose of conspiring to commit new crimes, but to gel off each other and help each other out, and just check in with like-minded people, because you're not freaks and it's not crazy. You walk in here and you see there's probably 20 people here right now. Just what looks like just average normal people. And I think that's one of the big things about this is that there's so many of us out here like this, and they don't realize it till they come to a place like this.
Yes, they feel at home here. They feel welcome, and they feel good and safe coming to 700 ReEntry. They feel support. So that's why they like coming in here and spending their time here. If they don't got nowhere else to go, they just hang out with us.
Right. And it's not just about hanging out. Like, Eddie has a solid background in real estate and entrepreneurism, and so do I, and Nelson, and even just like Dave and Ron May and the people that are part of 700, either as directors or participants, that can help people. One of the big foundations here is the business development that you touched on earlier. And that, I say this a lot when I'm speaking. In the feds, in federal prison, I did a lot of time with millionaire drug dealers. And the thing about a millionaire drug dealer is that they made millions of dollars selling drugs. So in order to make millions of dollars selling drugs, you got to have some skills up here.
Smart.
You have
Be
to.
smart, right?
You're smart. And when you're selling drugs and you're making millions of dollars, this is what you actually know. It's profit and loss, risk mitigation, marketing, supply chain demand, all these things that these CEOs go to college for, you learned on the street. And what you have to do when you get out of prison is learn how to hone those skills to an actual business and launch something of your own, because the truth of the matter is working at McDonald's ain't going to cut it. Mm-hmm. When you're used to walking around on the weekend with bands with $10,000, $20,000, and that's what you'd call a weekend, making $15 an hour at McDonald's is not going to do the deal. You're going to do it for a couple weeks. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to try and find a way to make a lick. So here at 700, one of the things, we have access to jobs. We have Halfway House Hired here. We have a relationship with Coca-Cola, with Publix, with several other companies that hire felons if you want to work a job. Excuse me. But if you have the next big freemium app, if you have an idea for a landscaping company, if you want to open up a barber shop, if you want to open up a food truck, we're doing a lot of food trucks right now. Yeah. I think 2 or 3 different groups have come to talk to us specifically about food trucks. If you want to open up a food truck, if you want to open a daycare center, we're working with Kanisha, who has a what do you call it?
A juice bar.
A juice bar, an organic juice bar. Whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about, you can take that passion of selling 8 balls and quarter ounces and kilos and turn it into selling juice or lawn care services. I know a dude.
Everything positive.
I know a dude in Illinois who I was in federal prison with, who was a big-time drug dealer. And then he started a landscaping business. And soon enough, after he got the knack of the landscaping business, he did all the houses on one street corner and then took over the next street and the next street and the next street. Now he's got 10 crews and they're making $2 million a year cutting the grass.
Wow.
And this is a real thing. Now, this isn't one that 700's done, but it's one that we could do easily. Now, out here at 700, we work with the raw juice. We have somebody working on an app. We've got a bunch of different people that are trying their luck at podcasting. I mean, take me, for instance. I made $2 million doing social media. I didn't know what I was doing. When I went to prison, TikTok wasn't a thing.
Okay.
And when I went to prison, listen, it's funny because Nico's back there listening to everything I'm saying. When I went to prison, there was no such thing as TikTok. And when I heard about TikTok, the whole concept sounded stupid. Like, who's going to watch silly videos about people doing absolutely jack shit? And then, I get on the bus. with my phone. So I had phones in federal prison, but I never got on TikTok. I used Facebook and Google and text and all that stuff. I'm leaving Forest City on the Greyhound, and I get a TikTok account. And I'm watching this, and 10 hours rolls by. I've scrolled through a bunch of nonsense. But it captivated my attention. Now, me and Nico might be hanging out somewhere and I'm scrolling through nonsense again, and that's what everybody does. But I found a way to take the important prison tips and put them into a format that delivers them like the nonsense, and people actually watch it. And a lot of people watch it. And I could teach people to do this. And then, Nelson, for instance, Honor Among Thieves is a much bigger podcast than 10 Toes. 10 Toes is a much bigger podcast than this, and we're all growing. 10 Toes monetized in 2 months. And that's not normal for podcasts. So, and we did that with Nelson's direction. So if it's social media you want to do, I've got not one, not two, but 3 studios here with state-of-the-art, amazing equipment. This is not some shack in the back or somebody's extra back room. Like, we have 2 full-blown big studios and the third one that we're working on upstairs. And the studio that we shoot the ReEntry podcast in is also the same. It's got the Federal Prison Tips logo because this is where I do the lives for Federal Prison Tips. But, 10 Toes, if you watch me on 10 Toes, is shot in this building in our other studio. Yeah, I said 2. We have 2. So if it's social media you want to do or long form media you want to do, we're here to help you. And if you're a re-entrant, we're not going to charge you. It's crazy.
Yes, absolutely free.
Yeah, just so come. There's no reason for you not to come. And then you get to meet my amazing dog. What are you? What do you know? Anything like? Is there anything we're looking forward to doing in the future here with us? What's on the horizon for us at 700?
Okay, we are trying and we are working on develop the jobs for the residents for the reentry. We are trying to school them and get their skills out there so they could do better. We have the podcast, like you said. Wow.
Yeah,
We got a lot going on.
We do. So and that is, it starts with like when you come out of federal prison or state prison, if you need a resume.
Yes, resumes. That's very important.
We have written hundreds of resumes for reentrants at the halfway house and on home confinement. It happens all the time where Miss Sims over at Banyan will call us because Johnny inmate has an interview tomorrow.
And it's a resume.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
And we've done that. So if you are just now releasing from prison or you have a loved one that's coming out soon in South Florida and they need a resume, don't waste your money and pay somebody hundreds of dollars to do your loved one's resume. Come down here. We will do it for free. We'll put it you on a thumb drive. We have a computer lab upstairs. They can use the computer lab to find jobs, to work on resumes, to work on business plans. We're also dabbling into transitional housing, which is for people who are getting out of the halfway house but don't have permanent stable housing yet, which is a big deal. Like we keep hearing about this. Like we have a gentleman, Chappelle, who got kicked out of the halfway house homeless because what people out there don't understand is with the BOP screwing so many inmates over with their halfway house dates, they'll give somebody 4 weeks in a halfway house. When they get to that end date on BOP.gov, it's over. And you might think, oh my God, it's over, they're free. When I say it's over, it's over. On that date at BOP.gov, if you don't have a home to go to, you go to the street.
Yes.
And so at least here at 700, we can help you get ready to get a job. We can help you find a job through one of our partners. We've helped 200 plus people that have come through these doors with some form of job placement, job education, job training. We can teach you skills, any kind of computer skills, social media skills, working on objections. We had a guy come from the Banyan Halfway House about 2 months ago to work with me and Eddie on the ways to ace an interview, and they aced it. Got the job, been on the job now for 2 months, making decent money. This is a gentleman who'd been locked up for 10 plus years and had never held a job before. I mean, that's the truth here for so many people in South Florida that were in the drug game. A lot of these guys from Broward and Dade counties, they were drug dealers as kids and teenagers. So all they ever knew was selling drugs. And now you want them to get a real job or go back to prison. So you may be 30 some years old or 40 years old and never had a real job before. Don't be ashamed. We can give you the pointers that make sense. And this is what I love the most about what we're doing here at 700. This is not some guy that just feels like doing something to make himself feel better. Every single person that works here has been in your shoes, except for, you've been in your shoes as a loved one.
Yes.
Like I said, there's 12 justice-impacted people and 3 allies. And so it's real and authentic. We've been exactly where you are. And no, we're not, none of us, well, except Nelson, are just campers. But even Nelson has a really good background here in Miami. But, so you need to come down here if you are in South Florida coming back from some kind of prison sentence, whether it be federal prison or state prison. You got a family here at 700 ReEntry that'll help you. We're not going anywhere. And I mean, tell the people what this place looks like. It's not, I mean, like we run into all these other nonprofits and stuff. I don't think any of them look as good as this one does.
Well, the first time that I was talking to my son and showing him the center, he said, "Ma, your office looked like a club." I said, "Well, it's not a club. This is a modern office. That's why it looks so cool."
It is. We went with the Miami Vice theme, so there's a lot of magenta. I'm not even going to say pink. Magenta and blue.
Yes.
And everything's contemporary. We have, if you didn't know, this building started out as the headquarters for the Hollywood National Bank. It then became a First Union, then a Wachovia, and then it died as a Wells Fargo. And there's a real bank vault here. Mm-hmm. And I took all the money. No, I'm just kidding. There was no money.
There was no money.
There was no money. I filled the bank vault with video games, stand-up arcade machines, so that we can have some fun. There's even mailboxes for people who are in the halfway house who are not sure where they're going to go. Don't be ashamed. You can have a permanent address till you're back on your feet to $20 a month instead of like whatever it costs at the post office. Just anything that has to do with somebody getting back on their feet again.
We're here to help. We are here to help 24/7.
So what are the next big events we got coming up?
Oh, we got a super busy schedule for November. We got Men of Ministry. It's a nonprofit organization. They're here in the building with us. They're going to have their own event on November 8th. But first, we're going to have the Halloween party.
And we're doing a Halloween party twice.
We're having a Halloween party this October the 31st and November the 1st.
Yep.
So everybody in the community, in the neighborhood, they could bring their kids and have some goodies, some snacks, cupcakes, go through the walk house that we're going to do like a haunted house in the building and have a little bit of fun for those 2 days. Then Men of Ministry is going to have their event here, and we're going to be here to help them also.
November 8th.
And then we're going to have 3 different events for Thanksgiving, for the halfway houses, and everybody's more than welcome to come and have dinner with us. Then in November, we're going to have a birthday party.
Yeah, we have
A very special birthday
We have a
party.
very special birthday party in November. Whose birthday could that be?
Oh my God. It's going to be Kyle's birthday on November 24th, his 50th birthday.
I don't look 50.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And then we're going to have the Angel Christmas.
Angel tree on December 17th.
December 17th. The kids and their ReEntry can come over and pick some Christmas gift for their kids. And we may have even a Christmas dinner also, too.
Yeah, we have a Christmas party. So we have a full schedule coming up over the next 6 weeks as we finish this 2025 out. But if you are re-entering society in South Florida, you can find us at 700 East Dania Beach Boulevard in Dania Beach. We are just literally 5 minutes from the Fort Lauderdale Airport. If you're familiar with Dania, we're in the building next to TNT Fireworks. Our website is 700reentry.org, and our phone number is 954-777-1702. Jeannette, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
And if you come over here, you can taste Jeannette's cooking because it is the bomb. Thank you very much. Join us next week for the ReEntry podcast at reentrypodcast.com.
Thank you so much, guys. We're here to help you guys.